Good evening. Good Thursday evening. Good Thursday evening. Yeah. It is 9:48 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's 9:48 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. Yeah, Eastern Standard Time. So on the East Coast. So good Thursday evening to you, caregivers. This is Taraline, and I wanted to just check in with you, see how you're doing, and then there was just something on my heart that I wanted to share. Just a bit of a word of encouragement to you. I know that there has been, who just a lot happening with regards to life. So, and of course we know that the life of a caregiver can be unpredictable. It can be challenging. There can just be so much that we deal with. And so, with all that in mind, I just wanted to drop in and to just encourage you. I'm thinking about, for my own self, this month has been a very challenging month. I feel like I'm just in so many, just spiritual warfare. Not I feel, I know. I am in some intense spiritual warfare right now, and just fortifying myself for this leg of the journey and this leg of the battle that I personally am in. And so when I'm at that point, I often think of those who I'm with whom I'm connected and those whom I serve. And ironically, I shared this on my public page today that 4 years ago today is the day that I buried my mother after being her caregiver for 7 years. And so as I shared that, I don't share it from a a sad or a sad or downtrodden standpoint at this point. What I thought about was the glorious homegoing celebration that we had for my mother. My mom was adamant that whenever she passed, she did not want a sad homegoing celebration. And so while I felt like I was in the twilight zone that day itself, I remember that it was a very glorious and upbeat and lifting homegoing service in celebration of her life. We celebrated her life. And to the point where I had no regrets about the relationship that we had no regrets about the time that I spent as her caregiver. And that's what I want to leave with you, uh, caregivers. Whenever you see this, it is okay to live in the moment sometimes. It really is. It's okay, and sometimes it's necessary for you to live in the moment. You may say, "What do you mean, Terling?" What I mean is that when God puts something in your spirit for you to do as it relates to your loved one, do that. Also, when I say live in the moment, I mean enjoy the good days. Kind of like enjoy them in such a manner where you're almost packaging them or bottling them up so that when the rough days come, you have something to fall back on. One of the things that I did for my mom, mm, 5 or 6 years, about 5 years before she passed on, it was in my heart to do a photo shoot for her after she had gotten sick and she had been through so much and almost passed away at that time. My mom was used to dressing up. She was just used to looking pretty and cute. And then at that point, being in a nursing home, she wasn't able to do all that. So, one of my good sister friends is a photographer. And so she went with me to do a little photo session. I was able to reserve the multi-purpose room in my mother's facility and just put some powder and some makeup on her and got some matching cute little outfits, cute little tops that where we matched, and she was so happy. She was just happy about that experience. I remember it so well. She was happy that it got earrings and makeup and the necklace. Even had a necklace that covered up the whole part in her neck where there had once been a the trach and everything like that. And so we used those photos. We used one of those photos as our Christmas card for that year, so that it was a testimony to how God had brought her through. But that just the experience, getting to the photos, the experience of that day, again, I just remember how happy she was. And that really just came with an idea, and that was something that was just in my spirit to do. And to see the excitement on her face and to see the authentic smiles. So I say all that I share all that to say, if there's something in you, um, in your mind, in your heart to do for your loved one that will bring them joy, although it may be work, although it may take some effort, do that, because the joy that they feel and you seeing that joy and being able to share in that joy, it will be priceless. It will be priceless. It will be priceless in the end. And so that way you don't have any regrets about the fact that not only did you care for them with their needs and the things that you need to provide for them, but you also allowed them to experience some joy along the journey, even though the journey is difficult. I hope that that's making sense. Enable yourself, both of you, to be able to share in joyous occasions and create those occasions. And then lastly, I want to talk about the power of forgiveness. I just did an interview about an hour and a half ago where I shared how domestic violence at the hands of my stepfather almost wrecked my relationship with my mother when I was a young adult. And I was asked a poignant question. I was asked, how did that make it difficult for me when I became a caregiver? And the answer was no, because I had forgiven her, not forgiven, but I had reconciled our relationship years prior, decades prior. And so, but it made me think though, as caregivers, sometimes our situations are less than ideal most of the time. And so, if there is something that is unresolved between you and your loved one, and they still have the mental capacity, reconcile that. Be reconciled while both of you still have breath in your bodies. And if they don't have the capacity, even if they don't, reconcile it between you and God, so that nothing is laying to your charge or theirs, so that you're not holding anything against them when all is said and done, and so that you can serve with clean hands and a pure heart. Yeah, do that. Remember that with men it is impossible, but with God, all things, all things are possible. So I speak strength to you tonight. I speak peace to you tonight. And I pray that you can have those moments that will be enjoyable. And I pray tonight that you can also have opportunities to be reconciled with those from whom you may be estranged in your life, so that there is nothing between you and them, and nothing between you and heaven, that would prevent your prayers from being answered and your service from being honored. Have a wonderfully blessed evening. I just had to share that. It was on my heart to share tonight. Love you all. Stay encouraged. Stay lifted. I hope that you're able to steal away and get some moments to yourself this holiday weekend. Good night.